Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. I'm your host, Chani Nicholas. Look, this week we've got two different things going on. There's one thing that happens in the beginning of the week, and it is about power and domination and control and what goes on in the shadows and what lurks under the surface. And it looks like a point of friction that's quite hefty. Now, I don't think that for the majority of us, this will land in our personal life. If you have planets or points at the early degrees of Taurus especially, Aquarius especially, or Leo, or Scorpio, then you will feel this. Mars is going to make a square to Pluto. And when I say early degrees, I'm talking like 0, 1-ish degrees of those signs, and maybe even into 2 degrees. So 0, 1, 2 degrees of those signs. You'll probably feel this. And the feeling of it might be like a poke. You know, it might be like a wake up. It might be something that spurs you into understanding that there's a lot more that's going on under the surface than you were previously aware of, depending on where this is happening in your chart, as well as what planet it's happening to. Check your weekly reading and check the transit section of the Chani app for more details about this. But I think that in general, for most of us, this will bring something up on the world stage that is about power, domination, and control. And look, I mean, like every day there's some kind of big headline, but I do think that this goes back to something that happened in February, because that's the first time that Mars crossed over Pluto in Aquarius. And this is the next phase of that situation. So there's a development here that could have something to do with technology. It could have something to do with technology and weaponry, because Mars is weaponry, and Pluto's, again, things that happen on a subterranean level, nefarious things that happen in the shadows and the alleyways and the places that most of us don't, won't see them or don't know about. So I am very skeptical of this week and what it might unveil for us. Not to be afraid of it. It's just like, oh, that's a power play. That's some kind of like, I was calling the first one that happened back in February, the Mars-Pluto conjunction, a tech power move of some kind. And a lot of different advancements, if we could call them that, in AI definitely happened around that time. And there might be some kind of like next iteration of something again that happened back in February. Or not, who knows? But that's what I'm linking it to in my mind, because now this is a story that's unfolding. And we just want to be very cautious and careful about the inklings that we get about like, I think there's more to this than is being revealed. There probably is. And it's good to like pause with that data and let yourself go deep with it. And then for some of us, it'll show up as a power struggle in our own life, like in a relationship or in a situation, in a dynamic, and any kind of pre-existing conditions for power struggles will probably get teased out around now. So that's like one of the notes to pay attention to at the very beginning of the week. Then on Wednesday, Mercury makes a square to Saturn, which says, hold on, wait a minute. There's something here that needs to be checked. There's a course correction. There's an edit. There's a criticism. There's something here that is being clarified. We talked a lot about discernment last week, and I'm going to keep on with that course of action, direction, that course of study. Let's call it that. This is a really excellent week to deepen our studies in terms of learning more about how we personally need to be discerning. Some of us are really good at being discerning across the board. I think probably just very few of us. But most of us are good about being discerning in one area of our life, and then we kind of suck at the rest of it. So I want us to think about where in our life we are not very skilled at being discerning and try to work there. was also one of my notes for last week. I continue along with it. Friday is a cazimi. It's a Mercury Sun cazimi. It's happening in Gemini. It's just like last week's new moon. It's glorious, except it's square Saturn. So again, it's just like an insight that helps us to whittle things down to the exact reason why we should or shouldn't do something. It helps to whittle down things into a very nice, concise truth, which is good because there's probably a lot of untruths flying around at the moment. I don't know. I'm not in the moment with you. I'm way back in March filming this and recording this. So I don't know how this is all going to unfold, but I know this week spells out, check your spelling, check your facts, check your data, and check yourself when you think you can do everything. It's not the deal right now. Pick the things that you want to focus on and then try as best you can to do that. Yes, we want variety. Yes, we want to like go with the flow and, be easy breezy about it. But we also have to like choose a lane and like within that lane, we can have some freedom, but we have to choose something, or at least that's what the astrology is saying. We're going to be miserable if we don't. So figure out what it is you have a hard time saying no to and practice saying no to it this week. On Sunday, Venus makes a square to Neptune and says yes to everything. It's big, it's romantic, it's lovely, it is delusional. It is not a day to be discerning. So like up until Sunday, I don't know. Sunday's going to make us want to indulge in a lot of things. Great, fine. If there's going to be a hangover though, it'll be gnarly because of all these squares to Saturn. So just make sure that you're willing to pay the price for whatever delights you want to indulge in. Then Venus moves into Cancer, which is cute because it's very much about loving family. And, it's June, it's Pride Month. It's about we are family, we're connected. We are going to be remembering that, I hope, this month. Thank y'all so much for leaving us reviews in the App Store. They really make a difference for both our company and for our company morale. We read all of them. We love them. We send out an email internally with all of the new ones on them every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to leave you with this one. It's called It's Time to Level Up, my friend. This app may change your life. Drama intended. No matter if you're an astrology novice or thriving expert, this app will take your knowledge to the next level. I've been happily hanging with the free version and decided to impulsively take advantage of a premium discount. The premium is worth every coin. It's more than simply horoscopes. This is self-discovery, introspection, and soul care. Chani guides without shame or judgment and centers everything in community care. And the aesthetic is super fun. Sending love to the Chani team. Next week is the solstice, a powerful, potent turning of the wheel of the year, turning of season, a change of season. And the same week, a couple days after the solstice, we have a full moon. So it's like a solstice full moon. It's extra energized and potent and speaks to something of a shift. And the energetic shift is quite nice, I think, at this time of year. So come back and we'll talk more about that. Until then, choices, discernment, stay in your lane, be free, get curious, let yourself wander around, but within a time frame. You know what I mean? Sending you lots of love, many blessings. Bye for now.